Hello, hello. We are back and happy new year to everyone. Happy new year to all of our listeners, whether you are listening on what social media platform, whether it's YouTube, LinkedIn, or even Facebook. Please know that happy new year is all out to everybody who listens. And thank you so much for your support of Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. And I am your host, Ayanna Smith. And of course, I am a financial professional, insurance broker, life insurance broker, and I am here to help educate and expose you to information, excite you to maneuver and get up and do something about what you need to do, because money is always talking, even if we aren't talking about it. And listen, if you ever know a business person, or if you are a business person, listen, you need to have them to tune in just a few moments. Get them to grab a pen, paper, on the back of a bag, whatever you need to do, because we have a special guest who is coming up in just a few moments, and you do not want to miss this powerhouse in business, as well. He's a business guru. I like to call him a business coach, as well as a life insurance broker. One of my great friends, and we'll be right back just in a few seconds. Well, as promised, we are back, and I hope you held on and got your pen and paper so that we can just formally introduce and bring out from our virtual green room none other than Reggie Smith. He is a long-time entrepreneur, business coach, been in several businesses. He's had contracts in the I say trucking industry. I like to say travel, but he's just a guru and has been in the financial space for almost a decade, I would say, because we were dating ourselves with that and saying we have information to share. So I wanted to make sure that we brought on someone who could help the business owners to kick off a brand new year with some great ideas and with some things that work and give you something to think about. So without further ado, we are bringing Reginald Smith to the stage out of our virtual green room. Thank you so much, Reggie, for coming on to Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. How are you today?
I am amazing. I better do a good job, y'all. When you get an intro like that, I'm like, it's President Obama going to appear on this from this green room. But thank you, Ayanna, for having me. Appreciate you and all you're doing. Y'all show Ayanna some love, for all she's doing is just to make it move and shake and making things happen.
Absolutely. Well, we've been making, I would say, backdrop, we've been making things happen for a long time, been, I would say, partners and sidelines and brother, sister in business for some years. I mean, I feel like, you're not only a business partner, but you're family, because we go through the ins and the outs, the ups and the downs, and we celebrate together. So that's one thing that I'm so excited. And I always tell you that, I'm proud of you for what I've known you for prior to even entering the financial industry, because you really were a mover and shaker and a real boss in the trucking industry, and you held it down as a very young person. So what they would call millennials, you were holding it down way back. So now in this space,
I still look like a millennial. Ayanna, come on now.
Oh, I didn't say you didn't look like one. I was saying you were holding it down for.
There you go.
Listen.
You
were holding it down. And so tonight we want to kind of jump in. You give a little bit about yourself, and then let's jump in to share some tips with business owners in a way of mindset of protecting themselves. And then as a business owner, how you need to protect your business, because we don't want to just say we want to start a business and not think of it. I would say this. Will you agree? I mean, pose this question. Would you agree that oftentimes when we start businesses, we just jump in, but then we don't think about, oh my goodness, there are actually things that need to be set up. And we really need to forward think of, if we're transitioning or coming from a W-2, now we need to pay ourselves and become an employee of our own business, when we set things up, and then we need to protect ourselves as well as protect our business. So you just kind of go give a little bit about yourself and you just go.
Absolutely. That's good stuff. You said you got a lot of points I'm actually going to talk about. But, again, thanks for having me, Reggie Winter Smith. I like that, that winner in there. But I actually been an entrepreneur since about 23, 24 years old. As you just mentioned, actually, I come from a lineage of entrepreneurs. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. My grandfather actually owned one of the first African American dry cleaners in a little small town called South Mills, North Carolina. Little small town. I don't even know the population there, but it's actually growing now. But back in the day, that was a monumental accomplishment. You guys would agree that was a monumental a monumental accomplishment to be a minority that actually had a business that serviced other races that didn't look like us, right? But he actually had this business, I believe, over 20, maybe even 30 years. He had a truck that actually delivering people's dry cleaning, picking it up in this small town. So as a child, I would admire my grandfather. As a child, my father would take me with him on Saturdays as a small kid and say, "Let's go see Granddad." Granddad, we call him Jack. Granddad Jack. Let's go see Jack. My daddy's nickname was Mac and Jack. Get it? I don't know how they got those nicknames, right? But I was like, all right, I always look forward to doing this because what I knew even as a kid that when I took that 45-minute ride with my dad, my granddad would pay me. He would pay me, right? So he would have me, clean equipment, he wouldn't let me press the people's clothes and mess the people's clothes up, but he would have me clean equipment and sweep the floor. So even as a young kid, I was already exposed to hard work. My
Mm-hmm.
mother, I'm blessed to still have here. She was always a hard worker. My father predeceased my grandfather, in 2004. But following that lineage is just hard work. My mom, who always worked hard, my father, who always people that just always held it down, and that people that always say, you know what, you have a great imagination. I was the kid that had this enormous imagination, and I was the extra kid. So I was the kid in school. Teacher said, "All right, give me half page reader." I know we didn't have typewriters and iPhones, none of that stuff, right?
Right.
So,
Absolutely not.
we had to write it out. We had to write in cursive, right? So we had to do
Yes.
all that stuff, right? And I was the kid going into middle school that was extra. So I would type my stuff. I would go get the encyclopedia. Kids don't know what encyclopedias are. I would go just
Mm-hmm.
always had an extra edge, right? Where I wanted more. And I'm grateful for the lights of my grandfather, the lights of my mom, just that instilled in me to just do a little more,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do a little more,
Mm-hmm.
do a little more than the next person. So, kind of bringing that up to speed. Lost my father in 2004. We're going to talk about, insurance and just how that is important for business owners in a second. But losing my father, and then some years later, losing my grandfather, kind of bringing up to speed in time over that 10-year span. I actually became a trucking company owner. I don't know. Can I say company names on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I was
yeah.
independent,
You can share your
independent
truth.
service
Exactly.
provider. Okay, I just want to make sure. I don't know. I make sure I don't get myself in no trouble. But I was independent trucking, independent contractor with FedEx Ground in 2004, as Ayanna mentioned. I never saw myself getting into trucking because even entrepreneurship on that level, because we always say, all right, you know what, we have these dreams of I want to be a astronaut, I want to be a teacher, I want to be the president, whatever it is, right? You just
Mm-hmm.
cross paths. And when I saw the opportunity as an entrepreneur in 2003, 2004, let me tell you how I found it. My boss is probably not watching. I saw what he was making, and I said I can make that for myself because I'm doing all the work.
Yes.
He's giving me a portion, a percentage of it. I was already a 1099 employee. I was paying my own taxes,
Mm-hmm.
my own cell phone. Then he did give me a cell phone, a little Nextel with the chirp, if you guys don't remember those. And I was like, I can do this for me. Long story short, kind of not everything happened overnight. Long story short, next thing I know, I'm adding trucks, I'm adding employees. So
Yeah.
that journey as an entrepreneur was actually quick. Amongst other things I've done in entrepreneurship, that journey. But as we tie this in today, I'm going to share just some of the things that I've seen and some of the good things and the bad things that I've seen. We're entrepreneurs, we're all, regardless if you sell pies in your kitchen on Saturdays and you made
Correct.
that a business, or you own a $1 million trucking business, or if you're a real estate agent, we all need certain things within our financial toolkit, right? We all need
Hmm.
certain things in our portfolio that we often don't think about. So I've been blessed to be able to be around great individuals, even Ayanna, great individuals like yourself, and we learn it, we glean it, we brainstorm and we research, right?
Yes.
And this we copy each other. Like, all right, I didn't do that. I didn't think of that. Why didn't I do that? So we learn through entrepreneurship. So that's my job. This to share some things with you guys that I've learned, and hopefully you take out a notebook and I'll share some of the things I know. I don't know everything, but I love to share what I do know.
Share your points. Absolutely. So let's get it. I know you're ready to give us some good nuggets. Yes.
Thank you. Yep. So, some of the things, if I was to start, one of the things I was, ironically, before this call, I was looking through some notes and just looking at some things to refresh myself. Like, okay, this is what you need. So often in entrepreneurship, we always talk about the accounting side of things, right? I'm not an
Mhm.
accounting, an accountant. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax preparer, not a tax professional. So you seek, again, that's the disclaimer, seek your professional when it comes to that area of advice. I always say trust but verify. What the information that we do communicate and convey. But some of the things that I've seen as an entrepreneur that along the lines of protecting your business. Not pretty. I'm gonna tell probably a few stories and some things and scenarios I've seen. We have a business. You're a business owner, right? I can let's start here. Let's start. You're a business owner, right? And you're making this income. We never think about how long we're gonna do this thing. We never
Right.
think about the what ifs. So if you're writing, not taking notes, write down what if. And I want you to draw a line, right? Draw a blank like a line. What if? And then you can list many things, but I'm gonna give you a couple of things. What if someday I can't run my business? We all know one day we will expire,
Mhm.
expire, expire. We're gonna die. We're gonna go to heaven. If that's your fate, right? We know that at some point, I'm not gonna be an entrepreneur forever, right?
Mhm. Right.
Again, selling pies and running a trucking company. Even as owning a trucking company for all those years, I knew income was great, but I knew that I can't keep doing this forever, right?
Right.
I'm making great income. In the beginning, I was making amazing income, right? Multiple six figures, well over upward of $1 million in income on 1099 on paper, right?
Mhm.
But I would
Right.
often think like, what if I got sick? What if I had a stroke? So then we said we wrote that list of what if and blank. What if I got sick? What is your Sunday I decided I don't want to do this no more? How long
Mhm.
can I do this? What if I get up? I've seen some significant things now, and I'm going to relate to trucking, but you can apply to anything, any business. What if I go out tomorrow in my truck and I don't come home, or I go out in my truck and I get critically injured? I'm gonna actually know some people that have been in severe accidents that own businesses in trucking, have been a part
Yeah.
of trucking businesses. So these are all the what ifs. So you wrote what if and blank. What if I decide I want to sell my business? Do I have a succession plan?
Correct.
What if I want to partner my business with right? A friend, a family. I have a buyer. I want to go into a buy-sell agreement. Some of these things you can find, you're privy to find information online. Some of the terms I may use. Do I have, an executive bonus plan for my small business, right? Do I have a key man policy for my small business? These are some of the things that even incentivize, right? If you have employees, no matter how big or how small your business is, guess what we all do? We start, right? So your business can be small, but you want to scale it to make it big, right? So do you have employees, right? Do you want Sam Walton started Walmart through life insurance, right? Are you
Right.
starting your business? Will you be the next Sam Walton? Right. So it's starting somewhere and then thinking about the what ifs. What if this thing really blows up? Right. What if this thing really scales and, this is a $1 billion business? Sam Walton probably never had a, a dream in the world that this business would be that big. But guess what? It starts with some of the concepts. So I'm going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about the importance. We always tie everything back to protection, right? And planning. If you're writing notes, you can write those two words, protection and planning, right? So are you protecting your asset? Your business can be an asset. Are you protecting your business? Now, let's bring it back to trucking. Trucking business, I got trucks. Of course, I had to have $10 million liability in case one of my drivers ran a truck off a bridge and ran it into a ditch. And this literally has happened, right? So,
Mhm.
as a business owner, are you protecting you? Ask yourself that. And I, as a business owner, I protect my cell phone, I protect my vehicles. You pay if you have a store, you're paying property and casualty insurance. You're paying, but are you protected in the event that guess what? That inevitable situation called death is the end result. But what if you get sick? Can that legacy, right? Can that business continue? No matter how big or small. We don't have to, it doesn't have to be a big business. But can that business continue? So am I protected if I have a stroke? If the doctor says we found cancer, right? I saw a story on Facebook today about a young lady who's dealing with one of the final stages of cancer. She wrote um, uh, people will post some screenshots on Facebook of her conversations with her kids, and it was very touching, right? But
Mhm.
to be able to say that, you know what, I only have 5 months to live. The doctors have given me 5 months, but I've got a plan. My children, right? My business will survive generation after generation because I'm putting protection in place. Life insurance, we don't like that word. Life insurance. We're going to talk about two different things. I'm going to talk about life insurance and protection, and I'm going to talk about planning. Let's talk about protection first. So, if I'm diagnosed with an illness, if I'm diagnosed and I'm a business owner, I'm a millennial, I'm moving and shaking. It may not be a millennial. I'm moving and shaking, right? I know
Yeah.
that when I die and go to heaven, my business is at the expense of whoever my business partners are, whether it be
Mhm.
your spouse, your kids. I want if you're taking notes, I want you to write wills. You want to make sure you have wills and these documents in place for your business so that you can have a succession in place. I Speaking of succession, I talk about this a lot with pastors. Pastors don't think about this.
Right.
Succession. Will your church take care of you when you're 80 years old? Are we
Mhm.
thinking about these things along the lines of an insurance? We're still talking about protection insurance so that if I get cancer, if I have a heart attack, if I have stroke, and inevitably, if I pass away, I can pass a legacy of upward millions of dollars, right? Go in. If our businesses are doing well, right? We can
Correct.
put a little aside into our life insurance policy, right? Again, we're talking about protection. I'm going to plan it in a second. I can put 100, 200, 300, 400, $500 into a life insurance policy to be able to protect my business. And then when I go, I have the income coming in. Because guess, think about this. If you have a stroke, can you run your business? I will always, be terrified if I, had a significant injury illness as a trucking company owner, you know, how my trust going to roll? Who's going to run the business? I have all the
Right.
knowledge here because I was the one that masterminded this business. So who do I have again in succession? A business
Mhm.
partner that can actually be my arms extended to continue running a successful business for my kids, for my grandkids, and generations to come. Whoever's important to you, right? But being able to protect it is one of the most important things every entrepreneur should have in your portfolio. It's great to have a nice car, It's great to have those commas and zeros, but are you protected in the event, big or small business, that something happens, right? So that's the
Yeah.
first thing. And then inevitably, if death and when death comes, not if, when death comes, guess what? I'm able to pass that legacy on. Guess what your kids can do? Your kids can actually sell your business. Your spouse can sell your business. They can keep the business. But guess what? If they decide I want to grieve because Uncle Reggie or Daddy Reggie or my boo Reggie's passed away, they now have options. They have options, right? They have options
Right.
to be able to say, you know what? My dad took care of me. Dad left me 2 million, 2.5 million. And guess what I can do? We can still sell the trucking business. Well, wealthy forever.
Yes.
Wealthy
Look,
forever.
if I can say this, I say
Yeah,
you have two options, whether you can leave people alone or alone. You can leave them
right.
ALONE, or you can leave them ALOAN.
Absolutely.
And it's really, that's what you're really sharing and talking about, leading people on into leaving a legacy and then planning for it.
And that's a good point. And that was a nugget. Also when it comes to loans, LOAN, you have liabilities as a business owner. So think about this. If you have a trucking company, you have, I remember FedEx unit, a brand new unit was about $75,000 a piece. So I was invested in units. Guess what? If I die, or the bills and the liabilities associated with those businesses that we own, the bill collector still has their hand out. They still
Yeah.
want that. They don't care. It's kind of, I make this kind of joke. If you go get a loan now, even if you go get a cash advance loan, or so even $1,000 loan, they actually put life insurance on your loan. They actually will charge you $3 extra a month in your loan that you don't know about, because they're gonna make sure inevitably if you die, now your family won't get that little death benefit. They will make sure that loan paid off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll even ask, do you want insurance on it, even though they have the backdrop going, but they will ask for, do you want extra insurance, basically, that you're paying in the amortization of that loan. So you even paying double on top of, interest on top of adding that into your payment, especially like cars and stuff like that. You'll see
Mhm.
that. Hmm.
Absolutely, because we never know. We never know. And I'm glad we're specifically talking about business owners, because guess what? I know we have a successful business. That means we are entrepreneurs. We are making income. We're doing okay for ourselves financially, and it just takes again that proper protection to be able to just think about again that what ifs, right? What if
Right.
in that line again? What if this happens?
Right.
So that's definitely something that I admonish all business owners. I remember when I had the trucking company at the time, I actually tried to get so much insurance when I started, that I actually could not get approved for anymore. So I was
Mhm.
actually over insured at one point, where
Wow.
I think I was about 2.53 million. And what an insurance carrier may look at is, okay, does he even have this much in assets? Why are we over insuring? So as your
Right.
income grows, you want to kind of keep up. But it's a good mindset to have that, I'm gonna make sure that if I die or if I get sick, we talk about protection. If you guys, I'm sure Ayanna, you guys are sharing accelerated benefits. So
Yes.
it's not just dying, it's in the event that
Get
you
sick.
get sick, you have a stroke, you can't run your business, you can't walk out. Some of you guys that may be on, even guys, not hurt my ankle a few weeks ago, about a month ago actually. Now I hurt my ankle,
Right.
and even as an entrepreneur, even though we're entrepreneurs now, just in a different industry. I'm like, man, what if you go that what if, that
Yes.
what if this was bone cancer and not speaking it, but what if this
Right.
is bone cancer and I had to amputate my foot? Could I run my business?
That I run
These
my
are
business.
things that
Yeah.
we want to think about. Could I even get to my insurance clients? Right? I can
Right.
do like we're doing Zoom, but how would it affect my lifestyle,
Yeah.
and how could it affect my future based on what I can't do now? So these are the things that we want to definitely consider along the lines of protection. And I'll talk about planning in a second too.
Yeah, but right now that's the things that you're talking about when you talked about, and it might have gone over a little bit when we talk about overinsured, because most of the time I would say endeavor to say we don't even have enough insurance. We don't have enough because we were sold that this is just a little bit is fine, but we weren't taught how to plan for it. So when it comes to business, we just kind of, like I said, run full, jump full on both feet first, and then it's like, oh, I'm supposed to have more insurance. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you expect your business projections to be, you should have enough
Absolutely.
money to cover it. And then not only the projections of the business, but the worth of yourself, to make sure that your personal is still running and can be taken care of, as well as the business. Mainly make sure you have enough for your personal, so that if you have to sell the business, the family won't be out there
Absolutely.
all alone and in a disarray. They don't have to salvage everything just to keep something going, keep a roof over their heads. So
Absolutely. And a good, we've always been taught this acronym. Different companies use different acronyms. We use something called DIME, DIME. So
mhm,
you look at, you can actually apply that to a business and say, if I'm an employee of my business and I'm paying myself, an income of, let's say, $60,000, $70,000 a year for my business, right? You want to make sure you're taking that. I'm dropping some gems, guys. You want to make sure you're taking that and you're multiplying that by actually 10. So let's say you're making 70,000 a year, paying yourself as an entrepreneur. You want to make sure you have at least $700,000 in life insurance set in place. This is still not including
your
like
business.
debt. This is not including debt. This is not even
No.
including personal and your
Mhm.
mortgage and your kids' education and some of the things you may have outside of your business. But being able to protect you is the biggest asset. Is the most important thing. You want to make sure you're overinsured, and as your business scales and as your business grows, you always add. You can
Yes.
always add. I don't know by show of hands, even I can't see everybody. How many people have actually had a annual a biannual uh, follow up on your portfolio when it comes to that. So as us as licensed professionals that are in the industry, we're trying to actually go back to people who start businesses. Hey, if you're made an extra $30,000 a year this year, your business as an agent, I'm going to help you protect that income. I'm going to
Right.
help you protect, your asset.
Yeah. Well, as we kind of like closing in, because the time goes by so
You
fast.
guys,
You, you
I
just,
can talk. I can talk.
I know.
Y'all check
I
this
know.
out. I was like, man, I gotta talk for 35 minutes.
No, that is not okay.
That's not
All
hard
right.
for me
So
to do.
that's not
It's
hard.
just the
But
passion, y'all. It's the passion.
absolutely, it's the passion. Absolutely. But here's the thing. You don't have to, of course, we can't tell it all tonight. We're just wetting your whistle and letting you know that these are the things that need to happen. So that's why you have to set up a complimentary consultation, so that we can sit down and talk with you about these things and partner and put together a plan and help you look at things in a comprehensive manner, because it's just some things that even we will come out. I'm gonna add you in here, Reggie. We'll come out and do workshops, for business owners, and so you can get that mindset and get your mind up on what I didn't know. It's almost like a what I didn't know
Mhm.
type deal. And these are the things that just get some nuggets out here, get your whistle wet for it, and then contact us thereafter. So talk a little bit about the planning for about 5 minutes, and then we'll give you give a chance to give your information on how people can connect with you.
Okay, good stuff. So we talked about protection, but planning is as equally important. So we talk about the what ifs, the bad stuff, right? We talked about all the bad stuff. We got
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bad
yeah.
news out the way. But what if, you know, you live a long, healthy, prosperous life and you decided, you know what, I'm 70 years old. I ran my trucking business. I made millions of dollars. You gotta see me stretching and flexing, right? I want to go live in Hawaii. I want to go live in Dubai. I want to go live in Maui, Bora Bora, wherever you want to go, right? Wherever your dream destination is. A lot of times, I think we as entrepreneurs can also figure this was also a fear of mine. I was like, I don't want to do this forever. How am I going to retire from entrepreneurship? I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm the money in the bank account is all right. I got some commas and some zeros in the bank account. But how long is that gonna last me? Right. So when I'm
Right.
70, am I gonna still be walking on with a cane saying, trying to deliver a box? So these are things that start to actually somewhat even more terrify me as opposed to, passing away. I was like, okay, so I've got to have some income, right? Continuous income. You're making, again, a lot of money or a little bit of money. You don't want your income to stop. This is why you plan. This is the other P. This is why you plan. You don't want your income to stop because you sold a business, right? Now, we know our traditional retirement routes. I know we're going to have people follow up with us to get kind of one-on-one, some saying this very surface level, kind of broadly, but, there are ways to supplement income in retirement as an employee, a W-2, or in entrepreneurship. In entrepreneurship,
Absolutely.
if you're a 1099, even if you're honestly working under the table, there are ways to supplement your income and vehicles that you can put your money in that you will be protected because you're going to still have that protection. But guess what? You can turn on income streams. If you go to sit down with a financial professional, you can say, I have this here, this amount of money here. I want to make sure when I turn 60, I can retire from my business. I want to be able to have my lifestyle is like this. This is what my home will be paid off. But I want to maintain my lifestyle because this is what I know. You don't want to be an entrepreneur and you work hard all your life and you had a great life. And then you eat pork and beans and oodles and noodles. And you ate filet mignon and the best ramen in the world, right? So we don't
Right.
want to work hard and then we have nothing to show. So planning with vehicles that allow retirement supplemental income. And it's actually some things I know we don't have time to talk about. So I'll let it even come out for encore,
Oh yeah,
but
we can
having
absolutely.
yeah, because it's some things that kind of just popping in my head. But
Mm-hmm.
being able to say, I have $10,000, $5,000. What can you do at 60 years old with a mortgage paid off and no bills with $5,000? You want to continue your lifestyle. You want to maintain your lifestyle, so you're able to be able to eat the fruits from the seeds you've sown when you
Right.
work hard. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs sometimes miss that. They're like, we say they're has-beens. They did all. We see this even particularly in I say it this way, in the music industry. As a music industry, most
Yeah. Musicians,
singers
absolutely.
are independent contractors. They're,
Correct.
musicians, producers. If you're not W-2, you're probably getting a 1099. So when you get old and we say washed up, no offense, and you ain't the hottest singer no more, right?
Right.
You're not the
Right.
hottest bass player, keyboardist, or what a producer. Guess what? Will you run out of money? And we see that, and this is dead on. You guys know this is true. You see that a lot of successful singers and musicians because they run out of money,
Right. And
and they're
I'm gonna
entrepreneurs
insert.
just like us.
I'm gonna insert. Right. I'm gonna insert that we can't talk about the music industry because Reggie and I both have music industry background. So we're both like musicians in our own right, but we're talking about the money side of it. And that is, it's almost like when the gigs stop gigging, it's any position. And we have even a hot topic that's out there now that unfortunately, we had a player that got hurt and all that stuff like that. And it's
Absolutely,
even when the people are in that space, they have contracts. When you hear the word contract means that you are holding all liabilities for yourself because you're getting paid that straight money in that contract. So that's what we're just talking about tonight, and we're really pushing tonight. Within the contract, it may say $2 million, and that is woo, sound good to our ears. But within that $2 million, taxes have to come out, health insurance has to come out, living expenses, all those things have to come out. And we don't think about, wow, what will our bottom line really be? And what care will we have if something happens to us? So it's almost like everything that we do as a business owner, we want to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves and not just looking at that dollar amount on the line only. That dollar amount includes so many pieces to the puzzle, and
absolutely,
then the money overarches it, and we're like, what's our bottom line when we're finished
right.
paying out everything from this great
And,
contract.
and I think that's another great point. Because even I didn't consider athletes. Athletes, I know a few local athletes in this area. Some of us are connected with some. The
Correct.
thing is, we again planning again. Are we planning? Are we thinking? Because when you can't run the ball no more,
Right.
when you can't play the drums no more, if you
Believe
can't
too.
run a truck, we're all under the umbrella of entrepreneurship. We're all under.
Yeah.
You work for yourself. And like you just mentioned, being able to say, yeah, on paper, this looks great. Got a contract for 2 million. And like you mentioned with, our God that we're praying for, and God is healing his body. One thing I know about the believers, they unified and pray for him. And,
Absolutely.
being able to see him, you think about the what ifs,
And the
what
after.
if, the afters. Guess what,
Yeah.
guys, that comes to again, planning and
Yeah.
actually protection that comes with that. So, these are some of the things that you wanna definitely implement. It's all about, we can talk about it, we can also be about it, but definitely, take this information and apply it. This fires me up, guys, to be able to share it. I just got off an amazing call tonight with some entrepreneurs, and being
Yeah.
able to share the energy with other entrepreneurs, and just being able to, as we iron sharpens iron, as we help each other
Yes.
be successful. I love to learn. I love to, connect with many of you guys that, have information that I need to know, so,
Yes.
we I guess one of my challenges before we wrap up, my challenge is, always to connect with other entrepreneurs. Your network is your net worth, right?
Yes.
Network, or WORK, is your WORTH. So
Yes.
being able to be connected with entrepreneurs, and we sharpen each other, I think that's one of the greatest things, that we can just pull each other up and just be like, what, guess what, Ayanna, guess what I found out? And she be like, Reg, bro, guess what I just, and Ayanna and I have
Absolutely.
had that relationship, so we did that. So it's kind of like we
Yes.
all are just sharpening, and we're all winning together. That's what entrepreneurs is about also.
Yep. Yep. And I always say, there the space you can function in the same space, but it reminds me, when you're riding on the highway, everybody's riding in something, but they're still rolling. And whatever you chose to drive, or whatever chose you to drive, excuse me, it's still a car, and you still go. And that's how it is. Even if somebody's in your same industry, you still have people assigned to you, and you still need to go together to learn how to build off of one another. It's no time for pride and jealousy and envy. It's time to grow, go, and elevate. That's what it's time to do.
We're all
So
driving in our lanes to the destination
yeah,
that's ahead.
yeah,
I don't want to get on the expressway and drive you driving backwards. So we got to go ahead, right? And we're all in our lanes. That's a very good analogy. That'll preach. We're all in
yeah,
our lanes. We're all going forward, and we're all headed in
absolutely.
one direction. Good stuff.
Absolutely. Well, Reg, I am so excited that you came. You have to come back for a part two, of course, and then we can kind of laser focus. I'm pretty sure we'll get some questions. They get any questions right now, but people usually come back and they listen on the replay. So please like, share, and comment on the replay, where you're hearing this, and send your questions directly to me or to Reggie, or just either one of us, and we will get back with you so that we can dispel some myths and help you to elevate your businesses, and just think about how to protect yourself all the way around. And we're just excited. We had different people coming and listening tonight. We had Marquisa, we had Michaela, we had
Hey
Keenan. I mean,
y'all,
people had just come on and just have come
that's
in and
fam.
out.
That's family.
Yes, absolutely. People come in and out all through the broadcast, and I'm excited that you tuned in, that you liked and sent love to the show. Because wouldn't you agree, these are pieces of information that we cannot and should not now live without. It should be the forefront. Just like we say, okay, we know our social security number, then we need to know how many policies we have, or what we can get to protect ourselves, or what's next on the agenda for our families, so that we can all build up, because there's too much wealth out here for us to miss it all. And that's my, that's
Absolutely.
my little 2 cents with that. And then, like I always say, with our mantra, money is always talking, even if we aren't talking about it. Well, let's start talking about it even more, so that we will have some fluidity on what we can do, and just unlock the doors that have been locked, to us sometimes. Let's unlock them, because people have the keys, and we need to get the keys and just unlock what we all this knowledge. So yeah. So
Hey,
any
money
final
always
words? How
hey,
can
money
people
always
contact you?
circulate, even if it is always flowing. If does it flow through your hands?
Yes.
And, so that's definitely, a lot of niggas you're dropping as well. It's out here, guys. Let's just get it. If you want to
Yeah.
connect, I get my channels to follow up. With
Mhm.
financial professional Ayanna, myself, others that may be on the Zoom, others that may be tagged in this as we share it. Follow up with those persons and complimentary. No pressure. No need to be ashamed, no need to be
Mm-mm.
embarrassed. We all, as an entrepreneur, I'm still learning. I made mistakes along the way. I was kind of
Absolutely.
beating myself up, and I snapped that. I was like, you know what? You're better than you give yourself credit for. You've come a long way.
Yes.
You've made mistakes, but you've learned from those mistakes. If when you know better, you do better, right? And then you can move forward once you accept the fact that I'm willing to develop better. So get with a financial professional. Let's say, what, look at this. Do I have enough insurance? I want to plan. Get with Ayanna. She's helping a lot of families. She's helping like throughout the country. So again, I'm just grateful for this platform. This is when I logged on now, I'm like, this is nice. This is so professional. This has actually gave me life, and we'll talk once we get off of here. But this gave me
Absolutely.
life tonight. So I love just
Absolutely.
to be a blessing and a light,
Yes.
when so many things. So I would say instead of throwing shade, let's throw light.
Yes,
Let's not throw shade.
absolutely.
Let's throw light. Let's help each other. Let's build each other up, and let's encourage. So I'm proud of you. Keep it up as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Well, Reggie, we are so
And
excited.
this
Like I
is gonna
said,
be big. I always told her this is her lane, y'all. I'm gonna get on her. I said this is her lane. She touches a lot of people. So if you ain't following her and you keep looking and you ain't, let me point at my camera, and
yeah,
you not following her and you just trolling, and make sure you follow her because I've told her years ago this is her lane. She's gonna have a lot of people. She's gonna bless a lot of people through her lane and her platform. So make sure you stay connected with Ayanna, guys.
thank you so. I really appreciate that so much, so much. Look, it will make me get emotional because we've been pushing each other for years, and I'm excited because I know you're gonna have big, big things already popping. I'm just waiting to hear about them. We do some catching up, but you hold tight. And as we wrap up, everybody, we just thank Reggie so much for coming on. And Reggie, you have a good one, and we will talk with you a little bit later. Okay. So just hold 1 second and we'll be right back. And as we wrap up, everybody, we want to make sure that you reach out and connect with me on all social media platforms at Ask Ayanna _Financial Pro on Instagram and at Facebook on Ask for Ayanna. That's my business page with the financial professional page. And also, please go over and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We have listeners who are watching on YouTube, and we're so glad that you're over there. But everybody port over and hit that subscribe button because we want to get the followers up and our subscriptions up to over 1,000 or more. And I know we can do this if we do this together. So you have been tonight with Money Talks with Ayanna Smith, and I am your host, your financial professional, life insurance broker, and I help people make and save money, of course, but I love to really drill down and drill in with that professional woman and into the high income earners who need to know what to do with their money and just build, and grow. So we're here about to excite, propel, grow, and repeat that. We want to save, invest, grow, repeat. That's what we want to do and I hope the information that you hear will help you to do that. And please connect with us. And we're so glad that you have come on to join us. Talk to you soon. Have a good night. Make sure that you like, share, and comment, and press the comments in the replay.